Good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Hope everyone's having a great morning and a great trading session so far. Good morning, Pred. How are you this morning? Good morning. Exhausted. Good, good. I'm flat. I haven't taken any trades. Damn, that pushed a little too far. Good morning, Amelia. No, I didn't get trolled. I said market be nice today. Or something like that. I'm talking about the market. Which it is being nice so far. I just haven't been trading because I'm tired. But I am going to take some trades. I promise. I promise. I promise. No, you're fine. Now, you know, if I was getting trolled, baby, I trolls back, honey. Okay. Now, you know. But not yet. I just want the market to cooperate a little. Just a tad. Of course. It's too short. And we do not get somebody out of here real quick. Did that? No, it didn't. Had a really nice push this morning. All right, now let's see what we can get. I was about to say, I have no idea what's going on. My charts have been kind of laggy this morning, to be honest with you. I don't really like that. The stupid, the POC changed at the last second too, and I couldn't see that. I could have tried to get out of the trade, but I couldn't see what was going on. I wanted it to be in the wick, and it ended up moving to the open of the freaking bar. So annoying. Ugh. Oh wait, the real one? Or the one that be in the other chat, the one we were talking about the other day? $11. Everything's so spiky today. Okay, it might be the real one. He said that he liked Nutty when he watched him on Patrick's stream. So yeah, it might be the real one. What is the news at 9 and 9:30? All right. It stopped me out, pull back a little bit, and then went up 70 freaking ticks. Yeah, I want to see us actually break down, or we need to push back up and go back to an uptrend, which I wouldn't be surprised if we do, since we've been in such a strong uptrend all morning. I just wanted to choose what it was to do. on, you stupid market. I will have to stop trading at 8:58 for the 9 a.m. news. Just in case it decides to do a little something. See if we can push through the overnight low, or if we're going to use this to push back into an uptrend. Good morning, Janelle. How are you this morning? This is what I hope doesn't happen. I hope we didn't do all of this to start barcoding and freaking consolidate for the rest of the time I'm on the charts. That is like the most annoying price action ever, especially when you didn't do a good job of capturing that, and then now it just goes into consolidation mode for the next hour. That'll irritate me. I really want to be asleep right now. All right, I'm sitting out for news. Let's see what happens. Probably won't get too much movement, but just in case. Let me look at it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work the way I want it to. Took a 780 TP on a. Ooh, nice. Good morning, Trenches. How are you this morning? Have you still been trading Asia this week, Janelle? Trenches, how's your trading going this morning? Fuck. All right, I think I have to Green to red. Chest. Trenches, do you start trading pre-market or you start trading at market open? Still prefer to trade Asia. Stop loss hit on a breaking order last night. I got you. I got you. Sometimes I flip a pre-market. If you trade pre-market, what time do you usually start? Go just ahead. Or 60 tick drop after market open? Jeez. That's what you captured? Okay, that pushed too far. I didn't want the double bottom move. I'm gonna take some ibuprofen. Good morning, T Money. How are you? Good morning, good morning. I'm up major level. I got you, I got you. My sleeping habits won't allow me to trade pre-market, but I swear if I could trade London, I would. Y'all would never see me at 8:30 in the morning. I just cannot go to sleep at a good time. I just can't. I don't know. But I've always been this way, so I can't even really be mad, honestly. I can't. 9. Oh, I hope this ibuprofen kicks in fast. So we did a thing yesterday. What's the thing? I'm exhausted around London. That baby, London is my favorite time of day. That's why I be so damn tired in the morning. I can't go to sleep before 2 o'clock. If I go to sleep before 2 o'clock, I'm gonna be up at 4 a.m. looking at the walls for the rest of the morning. So I usually wait until 2, but the problem is once I'm up past 1 o'clock, my body is like, hey, we're wide awake, no matter how tired I am initially. And it's just a vicious cycle. And now that I started taking naps, I thought it was going to be helpful, but it's probably not as helpful as I would like. It's just a vicious cycle at the moment. It is. Oh, what a fucking drop. This kid got signed up for wrestling. Ooh, good morning, Draper. How are you this morning? What made her want to try wrestling? Did you play any sports, Trenches? Probably basketball. You're tall, right? How goes it? How goes it? I'm great. I'm tired. I'm in a little bit of pain, but I'm here. I am here. All right, maybe. Wow. We've retraced almost the entire. Well, there's the whole body of the 5-minute candle. Almost. Oh, yeah. This is what I was just talking about. When we have good moves like this at the open, we start to barcode the rest of the day. I mean, this was a nice move up, but look how we just retraced the whole thing. Hopefully we don't subsequently retrace that one. I'm gonna be trying out a slightly different approach. It's the same thing, but slightly different parameters for how I enter. It's kind of what I was doing when I was trading volume only, which I liked a lot. But I could tell something was missing and it was order flow. So now I have to like kind of reincorporate that because it's kind of important. I don't really know why I stopped. My goodness. Could you go any lower? Good, good. I'm glad you're doing well. That influenced girls were wrestling at the event. She started to teach her and she didn't even wear. Really? Very interesting. Good luck to her. I hope she likes it. I love watching wrestling, but I don't want nobody that close to be touching me like that. Unless it's a man. Do you have a bias this morning? No, I don't ever have a bias. I keep a time-based chart. Well, I don't even keep it open. It's actually hidden behind my order flow chart. So I have one for a time-based chart, and then this one I can see inside the bars. But I take buys or sells. I don't really care. There's no bias for me. 15. Because even when I'm in a downtrend, I still look for buys, and when I'm in an uptrend, I look for sales. The problem is, like, I think when I went back to trading order flow from when I was trading volume only, I took out a very key component, which essentially is like, if I'm looking for a buy pullback right now, I kind of need to pay attention to how much volume is in this reversal candle versus this one. And the reason why it's important is because it tells me the strength of the sellers that are coming into the market to start the pullback, right? When I went back to trading order flow, I took that component out, and that was kind of the most important component that was helping me when I was trading volume only. And so I started looking at it randomly last night. I was like, I feel like what I'm seeing with just the order flow, it's fine, but it's kind of, when I look at my analysis sheet, it's kind of sporadic as far as the results of it. And so I thought to myself to look back at that, and I only went through one day of data because I was tired. But I think that once I reincorporate that, it's going to help me out with putting the order flow back in. But we'll see. We'll see. I think one thing that I've noticed when trading order flow and volume together is like, let's say I wanted to get into this buy right here, and you see we're pushing off the overnight low. What I've noticed is that, and I just started noticing this maybe 3 or 4 days ago, if the volume of this bar is more than this one and the delta is more than that one, and we're pushing off of a level, it's a horrible trade. And it sounds backwards, but it's a horrible trade, because if this level was that great of a level, right, we should have a very fast reaction off of it. It shouldn't take more buyers to push through the sellers that started the pullback, plus the delta being more. It's a horrible trade. So I've just had to kind of pay attention to really little things like that lately. Yeah. But I'm just trying to figure out what I like, what I don't like, so that I can just basically kind of have like one good thing I'm looking for and leave it at that. I don't care about catching every little move at all. At all. Could be disciplined enough, but I hooped in box for a bit. Baseball in a little league level. Bought her some shoes and signed her up. Oh, good. Make sure you keep us updated on her progress. Sounds like it will definitely help in a meeting and speaking Spanish. Well, that meeting ain't for you, honey. Yeah, it should help, because what I was doing okay, so as I was doing my analysis sheet for reincorporating order flow, I started comparing it to when I was trading volume only, and I'm like, something's off, because when I was trading volume only, there was like very distinct clusters of like, this volume pattern almost always produces wins. This volume pattern almost always produces losses. And I honestly think the only reason I stopped doing volume only was because there was very weird things that was going on, and I felt like there was something I couldn't see that was preventing me from like not getting into those trades. and I kind of figured out that it was order flow. And when I started putting order flow on my chart, that kind of was what was it, because it would basically be like, oh, here's a buy bar, but the delta is negative kind of thing. Which I mean, with no order flow, I can't see that. So, yeah, once I went back to looking at that analysis sheet, I was like, I think I have to reincorporate to see how we start the pullback. I mean, it's extremely important, because for as long as, like, if this pullback starts and there's less volume in this bar than this bar that pushed up, that lets me know that the sellers are pretty weak. So not to say any pattern would work on the move back up, but primarily almost almost. So that's what I'm gonna be working on. I'm not finna do a full back test. I could, but I'm just not. But we'll see what happens. Like, yeah, see, I don't think I would have gotten filled on that one. So I just have to find the things that I like the most. Just kind of go from there. But it sucks when we had like this kind of what was happening yesterday. This move right here just pushed up 66 ticks. This is a negative delta in this bar. So when stuff like that happens, it's kind of annoying. Hello, attitude. Let her pick her sports to see what she likes. She like whatever. I tried to call her. She ain't answer. Oh yeah, she's mad. She probably thinks that's a man sport or a boy sport or whatever. But you have to let kids try things out. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they can just never do it again. It's so simple. The only sport that I tried that I did not like at all was soccer. So I started bowling when I was 7, I believe. 47. Yeah, I started bowling when I was 7. And I think, or was I 10? I might have been 10. I think I started playing basketball when I was 7, one of the two. And I played for St. Angela. It's like a Catholic school slash church. And he took me to a soccer practice. I don't even like running like that. But he took me to a soccer practice, and everybody else had water bottles but me. So that turned me completely off. Nope, don't want to go back here. Thanks. Try again. He was like, well, we could go back with a water bottle next time. Don't worry about it. I don't like running like that. Let's try something different. And I just stuck to basketball and bowling. I really liked volleyball, but I was a tomboy and I still don't like dressing super like revealing and stuff. So when I saw how short the volleyball shorts were and they wouldn't let me wear basketball shorts instead, I said, oh, it's not going to work for me. First of all, how am I going to play a sport when I'm going to have a wedgie the whole time? Okay? No, it's not going to work for me. So I never did it. You hated tennis? I never played it like on like a team or anything, but years ago, like probably like 10, 15 years ago, we used to, like, once a week, we would go up to my old high school in the summertime, spring and summertime, and my mom bought us rackets. My mom was out there playing. My aunt and uncle were out there playing. We used to have us a good old time. A good time. Now, tennis is something that, I don't know. I think that I could never take a sport serious. I mean, I took every sport serious from a standpoint, like I was good at it, but it was nothing that I ever cared to like. I just was always good at whatever I did, and I never cared to like be extremely good at it because I never wanted to play any sport professionally. So what's the point? Like, as long as I was good enough to get scholarship money Hell, by the time I got to college, baby, you could sit me on the bench for all I care. Long as that damn check clear, I don't really care. I had such a horrible attitude towards that, but I mean, it was the truth. Like, why am I gonna? I think once I tore my ACL the summer before my senior year of high school, like I was almost dunking my junior year of high school. So once I tore my ACL, I was just like, oh, well, there's no need to jump like this anymore. There's no need to do any of this shit. Who cares? And that just was kind of it. I didn't really care anymore at all. And then it like put into perspective how serious like injuries and things like that are. And I'm like, this is things that I have to live with for the rest of my life. So I don't really want to put my body on the line like that to deal with lifelong pain and injury. And that's just how I took it, honestly. 1875, 78. Nope. Does zigzag represent delta? No. Too funny. You played tennis in high school? No, the zigzag, the reason why it could be a different color, like how it's red going on an uptrend, is because the zigzag is based on volume. It's a volume-based zigzag. Good morning, VJ. How are you this morning? Tennis elementary. Transferred to a school that didn't have it, so I fell it off. Ah, got you. Yeah, I tore my ACL, and I'm gonna tell y'all, it's the dumbest story you'll ever hear. So, if I had to describe how I played, I was like a slashing rebounder. So I could shoot, but I didn't really care to be very good at shooting because what's the point? I can get to the basket pretty quickly. I'm 5'10", so I'm very long. My legs are very long. And I had the quickest first step you have ever seen in your life. Like, I could play against somebody who was just as tall or taller than me with a very wide stance, and my first step is going to get around them every single time. So for me, if I can get to the basket, what I need to learn how to shoot for? I can always get there. And then because I was 5'10" and I could jump really, really high, I like to rebound, right? And so I was in a tournament in Chicago on my AAU team, and I never got out of basketball games. Didn't matter if it was AAU or, playing in high school. And so I kept telling my coach, like, hello, take me out the game. This is a 5th place game. We're up. Let these other girls play. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. I kept trying to take myself out the game. Every time somebody was subbing in, I was trying to, no, this ain't for you. Get back on the court. So I was on a fast break, and I remember I stopped at the elbow, and I went up to shoot, and I heard and I felt something snap. And I just felt, it wasn't even painful. And I was probably like the 4th girl on my AAU team to tear their ACL. It wasn't even painful. And I think it's because I snapped mine completely in half, like in a millisecond. Everybody else on my team had like partial tears. So that's probably why they were in such agonizing pain when they ended up tearing theirs. I didn't have that experience. And so I fell to the ground and I was crying because I knew something was wrong. Do y'all know my coach came over there, hovered over me and said, you would do anything to get out the game. Ain't nothing wrong with you. I'm like, no, something's wrong. So he looked at my knee and he's like, all right, well, are you going to get back in the game? I'm like, no, something is wrong for real. He's like, well, you don't have any swelling, so you should be okay, blah, blah, blah. Just sit out, for a couple days and, we'll get back to it. Y'all, I couldn't. So for a while, like, I didn't go to the doctor. I kept like tightly wrapping my knee. I'm like, this is gonna work. But I couldn't straighten my knee. Like, every time I tried to straighten my knee, it felt like bone on bone contact, and it just made my teeth grit. Like, it was the worst pain ever. So I would like wrap my knee up, and then I would run with like this. This was so stupid, but I was 15. Let me see. It was the summer before my senior year. So yeah, I was 15 when I tore it and I turned 16 like maybe a month later. So I kept running with this stiff leg because I'm like, I can't straighten it, but it kind of hurt to mend it too. So I waited like a whole month. I was walking on crutches. I actually tried to play in this really important tournament in Farmington. And I mean, I showed up. I had my uniform on, everything, came in on crutches, tried to get in the game. I said, oh my God, I can't do it. So finally, I'm like, all right, mom, it's time to go to the doctor. Something's wrong here. Like, it's been a month. Something's wrong. So I go to the doctor and she's just talking about anterior cruciate ligament. And finally, after like 10 minutes of her continuing to talk about my anterior cruciate ligament, I said, listen, lady, what the hell is that? What is that? She's like, oh, you tore your ACL. I said, I did what? So then she starts talking to my mom about like the surgical and non-surgical options. But the biggest thing was she said with the non-surgical options, I'm going to have extreme arthritis in my knee by the time I'm like 21. I'm like, and my mom's still over here asking questions about non-surgical. I said, girl, I know you don't have to live with this knee, but I do. I am not dealing with arthritis from the time I'm 20 to the time I die. That's not happening. So let's do the surgery. And I had 2 surgeries. Is Trump talking I don't know. I just know he talks at 3. You're waiting for the 600 level to hold. But yeah, that's how I tore my ACL. Get over 600 for some reason. I don't want to take a short. Oh yeah, 600 is where the current open and prior close are. Right there. But yeah, so this was the worst part, you guys. So I was the kid who was like I love the Discovery Health Channel. I used to watch the show Birthday, watching moms give birth, and I used to watch other shows. So literally like 2 days before my surgery, now mind you, I'm 16 years old. This was the dumbest thing I could ever do. I watched this show on anesthesia awareness. People who are in surgery, they're under anesthesia, but they can hear and feel everything. Baby, that was dumb. So I go to have my surgery. I'm pretty sure it was on a Monday morning. And I was laying there and I started thinking about what I saw on that show. And I was like, you guys, I don't want to have surgery. I'm like, we can't do this. They're like, oh, you're having surgery. I'm like, nope, I can't. I'm like, what if I wake up during the surgery and I feel everything? I'm going to be so devastated. I can't go through this. So I'm like hysterically crying. So they were like, you're going to remember a doctor coming in here and talking to you, and then the anesthesiologist is going to come talk to you and blah, blah, blah. But because I was so hysterical, I do remember talking to one person, but they shoved the nasal cannula in my nose and they started giving me anesthesia that way because I was so hysterical. And all I remember was waking up and I was like, whew, good thing they didn't do the surgery. And I tried to get up and I was like, my leg's a little heavy. I ripped that blanket back. My knee was this big, wrapped up in a brace. And I said, oh my God, they did it. So then I had complications from it. I had really bad reaction to the anesthesia. Like when I got home, I lost like freaking 20 something pounds in 2 weeks. I was only 140 pounds to begin with. No, I was less than that. But I got down to like 100 and something pounds, like maybe 112 or something. It was ridiculous. And pain medicine wasn't working. I was throwing up everything for like 2 weeks. The only thing I could keep down was cereal. My knee wasn't bending because I was in therapy like 36 hours or 48 hours after surgery. And I still could not, like, even going in that early, I couldn't bend my knee that much, like past maybe 60 degrees or something, 45 to 60 degrees. Actually, no, I couldn't even go 45. Yeah, maybe about 45 to 60 degrees after a whole month of going to rehab like twice a week. So I had to have a second surgery where they went in and they broke up all the scar tissue, gave me cortisone shots, and now my knee doesn't straighten all the way. And it kind of doesn't bend all the way either. But that's just that. I'm not going in for another one. Yeah, they definitely knocked me out anyway. They didn't give two fucks. My grandpa, God rest his soul, my grandpa was like, if you don't shut up, we're having this surgery. I'm like, who is we? You're not going under. He thought I was a psycho. You tore your MCL and oh gosh. Sir. What, when you turned and ran? Oh jeez. Mm-mm. That was probably, you know what? I would take, I don't know what's worse, my knee issues or I would probably say my back. I herniated the disc in my back in a basketball game as well. Didn't even know I herniated it until like legit about, I did it in I think I did it in February and I didn't find out until August. I've been dealing with back pain my whole life, so I was just like, oh. My trainer was like, oh, you're just having back spasms. I'm like, no the hell I'm not. I know what back spasms feel like. I've had back spasms my whole damn life. What are you talking about? But like a dummy, I listened. Shouldn't have. 69. And I kept trying to play with it. I did. Like a damn dummy. This market is a little cuckoo. I can't tell if I like, nope. Now we changed. But yeah, kept trying to play with the herniated disc. I like the whole summer league. I'm like continuing to ask to get taken out. I'm like, yo, I can't breathe. Something is wrong. Like it just, but when you've been dealing with pain for so long, it's like, you know, something's wrong, but like I could still deal with it. I was cuckoo. You won't tell the story. Not fish just entered the chat. But yeah, when I herniated the disc in my back, it was in February. I was playing for my D2 college. I was on a fast break. I thought I was by myself until as I was coming down from my layup, I saw my feet in front of me. And I fell in a seated position and it was over from there. And that's why I have the back issues I have now. But according to my best friend of 25 years, I've been complaining about back pain since she met me at 10 years old. And I legit thought that my back problems started in high school. She was like, yeah, no. But that definitely made it worse. Definitely. So that's why my disc can pop out so easily. What was that when I was on a walker for 2 weeks? I think it was, had to be 6 months ago because it was within the last 6 months because me and my mom were both on a walker at the same time. It's bad. Do I trade ES? Hell no. But GJ used to be my favorite pair when I traded Forex. No ES for me. I used to trade ES. I used to. The biggest problem today is we're kind of bouncing between levels. And the way the delta is acting at these levels, I can't trade it. Because historically, it just is not good. Hopefully I can get like one last trade in before. Nope, there's a positive delta there. You motherfucker. But yeah. No ES. I don't think I can ever trade ES again, to be quite honest with you. I don't know. For me, I'm like, if I can master the Nasdaq, I don't want to trade nothing else because Sometimes even trading Nasdaq can be very annoying when you're trying to wait for something that you're looking for, and I don't want to intentionally go watch paint dry elsewhere. Who the fuck is here at night? If this is her brother, I'm gonna be so pissed off. She's not even awake. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Special delivery. I thought it was her brother. Her brother be coming over here unannounced, don't call, no nothing, just be showing up like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Everybody got phones up in here. Call before you come over here. But it was Amazon. Your option plays are shit. Why not trade ES? I used to trade ES, but when I got back into trading, my only goal was just to master NQ, because I felt like if you can master NQ, you have no reason to trade anything else, because you'll get so many more opportunities than you can on any other instrument. But I used to trade ES. Nasdaq actually is the last instrument I ever traded. I traded ES, I've traded gold, crude oil. I don't think I ever traded silver. I traded natural gas, the bonds, ZB, ZN, TN, UB. Pretty sure that's it. I never traded copper, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, and then Nasdaq was the last thing I started trading. I was like always afraid of trading Nasdaq, which was very weird because GJ was my favorite. So it's kind of awkward that I wouldn't want to trade 134, that I didn't want to trade Nasdaq, but I didn't. I really didn't. You motherfucker. Most of the better moves, honestly, were in the first like 30 minutes of the market being open. I'm just too tired to see anything right now. I made the team, and then that goofy shit happened by the time I healed. I was like, fuck it. Yeah. Trenches, shut up. But it is very true. It is very true. Come back to gold. I might. PT and worked with us on exercises to prevent injuries. I think that like so I was grateful to not really have like ankle injuries and things like that. I do think though that my knee injuries could have been prevented if I lifted weights, but I didn't really ever lift weights until college. I didn't. I was like, oh shit, y'all finna have us in there? Why we gotta go in there? And surprisingly, I've always been strong even though I didn't lift weights. But yeah. I can say that even, what has it been? It's been let's see. Yeah, it's been almost 20 years since I tore my ACL, and my right quad is still smaller than the left one. Because I remember, like, by the time I told y'all I was in therapy within 48 hours, and you would be surprised how fast you lose muscle when you literally can't use it. Like, And it's one of the reasons, this is kind of off the wall, but it's kind of one of the reasons why a lot of women deal with saggy boobs, is because when you're wearing bras 24/7, your muscles atrophy because you're not using them. Your bra is holding your boobs in place at all times, so the muscles that hold your boobs up stop working. But yeah, when I went into therapy and he unwrapped my leg, I was like, where'd my quad go? My leg was literally like indented in like that. I had my thigh, it was an indentation, and then my knee, and then the rest of my leg. It looked crazy. But it's very difficult to build that quad back up. Just started popping up. I had a lack of discipline. You might just have to take the short. We still can't really get above it. I mean, we are, but every time we break it, we come right back down. We've just continued to wick off of it. My session's basically over. I'm kind of annoyed. I'm gonna go take a nap, honestly, and then I'm gonna go through, what is that? I think it's like the 24th. I think I'm gonna go through, when did I reincorporate order flow? I'm gonna go through some of the March data that I have where I was trading volume only, because it'll be very easy for me to just go into my back testing chart and just write down what the order flow was. Like I said, I kind of have an idea of what I'm looking for, but I only have like 2 days of back testing data right now. I'm not gonna do too much though. Y'all know, we'll just go every day and we'll just add to it. But yeah, today was more of like, I kind of wanted to see how the market's moving when I incorporate those two together with paying attention to the volume of the pullback bar and kind of going from there. And one thing I think I don't want to do though, and I might have to see, is when we have moves like here, where we have, well, this one's a little bit different because the volume was already drying up here compared to there. So let's just pretend like this number is more than 1.3 thousand. When we have a strong pullback where the pullback volume is more than the previous pullback volume, I'm trying to see if I actually want to trade that or not. I feel like I get pretty decent trades with that, but only when the entry bar is touching a level. But I'm not all the way sure. A lot of times those are the bars that have the delta that's opposite of what I'm looking for. So like this one had +9 delta. Well, no matter what, I can't take that trade, you know, for a sell. The delta is positive. So yeah, once I kind of figure out what I'm looking for, it's gonna be pretty easy. It's kind of like probably the most simplified version of both ways I was trying to trade, with volume only and with order flow only. But combining them, I think that'll be the easiest way to do it. NQ moves so fast. It does. It would be more helpful, probably, well, I wouldn't say helpful, but it'd be a lot different if I traded on bigger Rinkos, but I kind of don't want to do that, if I'm being completely honest. Because well, I probably could with the volatility that we've been having post inauguration, but like before Trump was in office, the 16 tick chart was kind of like the perfect medium, because anything less than that was like way too fast. But then sometimes the problem with a 20 tick chart, which if I did a 20 tick chart, I would be going for about 5.5 points per scalp. But what I'm hoping, this is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that once I incorporate paying attention to how the pullback starts, like the force in which the pullback starts, and then, you know, determining if that allows me to get into the trade or not. What I'm hoping is that whatever patterns I notice work really well on a 16 tick chart. I'm hoping that that can translate over to a 20 or 24. Like if I decide I don't really want to scalp per se for like, you know, the 4.5 points, let's say I want to go for 10 points per move, then I can put on a 40 tick chart and take the same exact trades. I won't have as many, but if I can get, you know, 2 or 3 40 tick moves per session, what else do I need? And that would also help with slowing down the chart, being able to catch the moves and things like that. I don't know if I would go as high as 40. I think that, well, 40 would, I don't know if 40 would work, because the other thing is, the other reason why I use such a small tick chart is because on a 16 tick chart, in order to go from to paint a reversal bar, the market has to move 32 ticks in that direction. All right. And so not only does it have to move the initial 32 ticks to close the reversal bar, but then I'm going for 18 ticks on top of that. So essentially, I'm looking for a 50 tick move every time I get into a trade. Now, 50 ticks on the Nasdaq is, you can come by that very easily, right? So, but as I go up in tick size on the Rinkos, that's something that I have to be aware of. Like, it's not just the fact that I'm going for 40 ticks. If I move to a 40 tick chart, I have to also remember that the market has to move 80 ticks first, because whatever my brick size is, the market has to move double that, and then you have to add what you're looking for. So if I want to go for 40 ticks and it has to move 80 ticks first, plus the 40 ticks, now I'm asking the market to move 120 ticks just for me to get a TP. On trending days, great. On choppy days, not so much. So if I increase my brick size, I can't go too far. I think probably like probably 24 might be the highest that I would go. And even then, that can be asking for too much sometimes. So it just kind of depends. We ain't going below the VWAP though. Where is the VWAP right now? I don't even know. Oh, did I take it off this chart, or did it take itself off? Let me see. Oh, 508. I have to put it back on my time-based chart. I don't know how it got taken off to begin with, if I'm being honest. But yeah, so I'm going to play around with some stuff after I take a nap so my brain can work again. And we'll see. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have a little bit more figured out so I can start to like take more trades. It's just a matter of finding which patterns I like the most and just kind of trying to stick to those. Did somebody say boobs? Timbo. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he was just a YN. He's better now. He's better. But yeah, all right. So with me losing $100, I'm just down $200 overall on the TPT account. And oh, that person woke my granny up bringing that doorbell for that package. So I still have $1,800 in drawdown left on the account. We're gonna slowly try to build this up while I fix my strategy. Yeah. Are those your prop firms you're using? So I use Apex, as you can see up there. Oh, I didn't know that screwed itself up a little bit. But yeah, so I have accounts with Apex, which all of my Apex accounts are PAs. And that's where I'm not trading them, because I'm not a psycho person who trades on funded accounts knowing I'm in a slump. So the only other account I have is this Take Profit Trader eval account. So that's what I trade every day. And I'm basically not going to trade on my PAs until I get this eval pass, because this is the only eval that I have left. I have no desire to just pump up more eval, like for what? So the goal is to get this one passed, start trading my PAs, and when I get my first payout, then I will start to add more accounts to the arsenal. But yeah, these are probably the only two props you'll see me trade with. Mainly Top Step was another one that I was doing evals for. My Top Step accounts, I don't know if it was rhythmic or what, but the copy trader was really screwing me on those. And then when they changed their rules to this, like, you get 5 payouts from one account, no matter how much it is, you get put into live. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. And so because of that, and I already didn't like their path to live anyway, it's very all over the place. Like, they kind of punish people who have good risk to reward and good, management of their accounts, because if you pay attention to their lists of people that they take live every week, you'll see that you have people who have taken out 80,000, 100,000, 150,000 from their XFAs and go into a live account with 20,000, 40,000. And in the same week, you'll see somebody who only got 1,000, like let's say $1,500 in payouts from their XFAs and go into it with 1,500, go into live with 1,500. That's not a clear path to live, and it doesn't even make sense. How can you have somebody who took out 6 figures, has another 5 figures to fund a live, but then you put them live at the same time that you put somebody live who's only taken out 4 figures and fund a lot? Like, first of all, to put somebody live with $1,000, $1,200 is insane. That's worse than an XFA. But you're punishing this person because this person has good risk management, and they probably have like a good win rate. Who knows? I don't know. But they obviously have a good risk management. That's why you want to take them live. But that's literally insane. So I never really liked Top Step for that reason. And then once they came out with that new goofy path to live, it just didn't make sense. Most other prop firms have rules against micro scalping, which is one of the reasons why I'm thinking about increasing my my Renko size, because for instance, on my funded futures, which I don't know if I would want to trade with them, but with my funded futures, you have to either be in trades on average for more than 10 seconds, which never happens for me, or you have to go for at least 5 points. Well, I don't want to increase my number of ticks that I'm going for, because I go for 18 ticks for a reason, because I'm using a 16 tick chart. So I can't trade with them. But yeah, a lot of other companies have micro scalping rules. I think with Tradify, at least 50% of your trades have to be more than 5 or 10 seconds. I don't really like their path to live either. No, I don't like their rules once you get into live. It doesn't make sense. Their live rules are completely different from when you're in sim funded, and then you go from 90-10 split to 80-20 to 70-30. Like, why are you punishing someone as they get better and as they get more live accounts? You're being greedy. So because of that, I don't trade with them, but we'll see. I don't know. A lot of these companies, I understand why they make certain rules and make certain adjustments. I mean, part of it is you're just trying to prevent more payouts. But also, a lot of companies are doing certain things because they're trying to circumvent some of the issues that are caused by some of these people who are paying for copy trading services, have other people trading for them and different things like that. And I get it. And they're also tired of people sim farming. People who, and personally, I think creating a path to live where, hey, if you get 5 payouts from this one XFA, you're automatically taking a live. Well, guess what? People should just get to 2, 3, 4, blow the account, try again, prevent it. And the thing is, a lot of prop owners feel like people are scheming. I'm not going to use the word scamming, but scheming to try to sim farm to keep themselves from going live. When my thing is, if that is the case, why don't you create better live terms? Create a better live environment. You won't have people trying to prevent going to live if you have good rules for live. So for instance, I don't know if it's still like this, but when I looked at Tradify at the time, so with them, you have totally different rules when you're in sim funded, right? You just have to hit the profit target, trade a certain number of days, request, you get your payout. when you get into their live accounts, now they switch you over to type of rules where you have to get a $200 day in order for it to count as a trading day, and you have to get 5 of them in order to withdraw, and you have to get 30 of them in order to be able to unlock all the money. And it's like, I didn't even have to do that in SimFunded. And then, like I said, when you work your way up, they force you to take payouts at a certain profit, and then they take their portion of the percentage of the profits to reinvest into you and create these merit accounts. I think everything past the initial 2 live accounts are called merit accounts, but as you work your way up, now you go from an 80-20 split. You did 90-10 in SimFunded, 80-20 in live, and then you go to 70-30 as you work your way up to 5 live accounts. What the fuck? How does that make sense? Tell me you're greedy without telling me you're greedy. If you're making more money off of me from having more live accounts, and when I take a percentage, I take a payout, you're taking a percentage, and now it's real money back in your pocket versus you just saving 10% or saving 20% by not paying that out. Why are you being so greedy? And why did the rules change in live? I think the only company where I have not heard anybody trying to circumvent going live with is Take Profit Trader. You want to know why? Because they have the best rules in regards to their SimFunded, and when you go into live, it's the same damn rules. I think the only thing they don't care about is, or they care about, is they don't want you trading within 1 or 2 minutes of red folder news. Besides that, everything is up for grabs. You can do whatever you want. You can withdraw daily, which you can in SimFunded, and nothing changes when you go live. So if you already like the SimFunded environment, you don't mind going live with them. And I think other companies can learn from that. But see, the other problem, and this is what I was trying to tell people who, you have these people who, and I don't know if y'all heard about this, by the way. I just heard about it, I think maybe 2 weeks ago. The company Blue Sky, they posted something in their Discord saying that I think they're the company where you go into SimFunded, but I think you don't really take a payout from SimFunded. Once you reach the target, you get put straight into live with that money or something like that. Well, the broker that they're using for their live accounts actually told them to stop taking people live so quickly because they were wasting so much money. The broker told them how much you're losing and you're wasting money taking so many people live. So now they have a SimFunded environment. But there's so many people who oh, I hate Apex because they don't have a clear path to live. They just care about people using this as a casino. And I don't like this company. I don't like any company that doesn't have a clear path to live. Can we stop for a moment, take a step back, and use a little bit of logic? Most of the people that are trading with prop firms shouldn't be taken to live that quickly. Anyway, if we're being real, because when you think about it, right? First of all, a lot of people have never traded live before. They've never had their own accounts, or if they have, it definitely wasn't in futures. That's why they think that trading 10 contracts is so normal, right? But not just that. When you think about the prop firms, right? You only have to be decent for 5 days, 5 trading days, 8 trading days, or 10 trading days in order to get a payout. And if you can do that across a couple of accounts, you're always going to be net positive, right? If I have 5 accounts and I can cycle through 5 accounts 2-3 times, but on that 3rd or 4th time, I get all of those accounts to the max payout, I'm still net positive. But if I took those same trades on one account in a live environment, I would be negative. Why, if I'm a prop firm owner, if I am somebody who's really trying to fund a trader, Why would I take somebody live that has the stats that these people have? That doesn't make sense. And that's why I wish people in this space would slow down. Like, sure, I have some PAs, but I ain't trading them because I know I'm not ready, right? My goal is not to have 6 figures in payouts, but be a trash trader. I am using this as an opportunity to get funding, yes, but I'm also trying to actually develop a strategy that I can use in a live environment and be profitable with. But all people care about is getting to a payout, and that's all they care about, no matter how trash of a trader they are, no matter how bad their strategy is. As long as it's good for 5 days, 8 days, or 10 days, that's all they care about. And kudos, because at the end of the day, this is just a business, right? From the prop firm standpoint, as a trader, it's just a business. So as long as you're getting out more than what you put in, that's all that should be important to a certain extent. But at some point, you have to have a desire to be a better trader, because if the prop firm industry went away tomorrow, or if you only have 1 or 2 favorite prop firms and something happens and they go under, then what? Then what? Does Apex rules change when you become a live trader? No. From my understanding, no, nothing changes. I only know personally one person who's a live trader, and he only posts in the Facebook group. I remember he used to post like when he was still in sim funded and struggling and everything like that. He's the one. His name is Jeremy. I think in December he took like a $200,000 payout. But yeah, your rules don't change from this, like they don't change to get worse. If I'm not mistaken, you don't have like the 5-to-1. I don't think you have any rules when you're in live. I can't remember what his post was when he made the post about what the stipulations are, but I know you can get daily payouts. So I don't think you have to do I'm pretty sure you don't have to trade for 8 days or anything like that. So your rules get better. They don't get worse. And it's fine if your rules change when you go live, but as long as they don't get worse. And then this is the other thing, right? This is my other problem with a lot of prop firms. When you get taken live, you are then considered a professional, right? So now you have to pay professional data fees, okay? Apex pays your professional data fees. I know Take Profit Trader does. Take Profit Trader, according to the FAQ, whatever exchanges you were using when you were in sim funded, they pay those professional data fees for you when you are in live. A lot of other companies make you pay your professional data fees when you are in live. What the fuck? So if I am somebody, if I know what your path to live is, and I have experience trading live accounts, and I pay $4 a month for my data, why wouldn't my goal be to take my payout money, put a nice percentage off into a personal account, so that when you ask me if I want to go live, I tell you no, you go ahead and ban me, and that's fine. Go ahead and pay me my money out. You ban me, suspend me for a certain period of time, I'll be back. But why should I pay $100+ a month for professional data, have your same trash rules, and I feel like once I'm in live, what I should be able to do what the hell I want to do? Maybe give me a daily loss limit so I'm not going in and blowing the account, in one day or anything like that. But besides that, why do I have to make a certain amount for it to count as a trade? I am in a live environment at this point. There should be no rules. Except also maybe you can't trade during certain news. I'm cool with that as well. But all that other stuff doesn't make sense. So you mean to tell me if I want to make $190 a day, I can't withdraw I can do that for 60 days straight, and I can't withdraw any money because I don't have a $200 day? That's stupid. What the hell, Cyrus? What? But yeah, I would just, you want people to stop treating this like a casino, right? But you're not giving them any incentives to do so. And then I'm losing 10% of my money to you, and you can't pay my professional data fees? That's insane. Especially when a lot of these companies only give you one account. Take Profit Trader, you can have 5. I believe with Apex, you can have 5 as well. But a lot of these, like Top Step, they merge you into one account. And you can't pay my $100 a month? You got me fucked up. But that's just my thought process. I wouldn't want to go live with the majority of these companies. And for me, like, I know what I'm capable of once my strategy is fixed and I can get back on my streak and, you know, figure out what I want to do long term. I know what I'm capable of. So for me, I'm not somebody who thinks about the just now. I think about things down the street and around the corner. So for me, if you're a company where I don't like your live, I don't really even want to trade with you and sim funded either, honestly. Exactly why I took my profits and started trading. Exactly. And the thing is, like, giving up 10% is not a big deal to me. It's not. Especially if the terms make sense. It's like, okay, you know what? Especially if let's say I feel like, all right, I do have my personal account funded, but I still just feel like I want more. You know, I don't have a problem with using prop firms as an opportunity to gain more funding, to be able to put more money into a personal account and just as leverage. Because if I can trade a personal account and like 10 funded accounts, I'll do that shit. I have no problem, especially because the way that I trade, besides the micro scalping rules, you know, in regards to other rules that companies may have, like Apex, everybody talks about all the rules Apex has. Well, they allow you to have 20 accounts. The more accounts a company allows you to have, the more strict they have to be on the rules, because it's a lot easier for you to be able to use them as leverage. Duh. But people don't have common sense. But either way, none of their rules bother me. A 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio is something I never did the entire 10 years I traded. I always was 1-to-1 or better. So that doesn't bother me. Why are you bothered that they don't want you to lose more than 30% of your money in one trade? The number of people I see complain about that is literally insane. Tell me you don't like good risk management without you mean to tell me you're okay with blowing your account in 3 trades? What? Like, when you really sit back and think about it, anybody who complains about the Apex rules just don't have good risk management practices. And it's that simple. Because what are we complaining about here? I'm confused. So yeah, with them, I don't mind their rules. And most other companies, like I said, I don't mind theirs either. The whole news thing, I stop trading usually 5 to 7 minutes before high impact news. So you telling me I have to be out by 1 or 2 minutes before, it doesn't matter. And I always restart 2 minutes after anyway. So I can't think of any company like where the rules really bother me, because with the way I trade, I wouldn't be affected anyway. It doesn't matter. Trade at my own pace, spend less money on data, free will to withdraw. Exactly. I don't know. Maybe one day these prop firms will get it together. I've been hearing chatter about there's supposed to be like so many prop firms releasing in the next few weeks. And the biggest thing is, I understand everybody wants their piece of the pie, but if you're not going to launch with a better experience than what's already available on the market, good luck. Because especially gone are the days where like a lot of affiliates are just putting their name on anything just for the sake of getting some affiliate commissions. There's a few out here. There are a few. But besides those few, you're not going to see that. And unless you spend a lot of money on marketing, it's going to be very difficult, whether it's ads, whatever. It's going to be very difficult for these companies to come in and really take a decent portion of market share. Because the other thing is, most of the companies that launch now are not doing so well because most of the people, unless you launched, like, let's say that the CEO was already in the prop firm space or in the trading space, a totally different situation. But when you think about it, the people who are not doing well or getting payouts and stuff like that, I'll say, take me for instance. I have no desire to go buy accounts with a new company. For what? I want to be able to max out at the companies that I'm at, be getting payouts and stuff like that. So most of the people that are going to become customers of the newer companies are going to be the sharks, the people who do well in any company, who get payouts with any company. And unless you have a bunch of capital behind you, a bunch of investors, you have to hope that those people who come in initially just to take your money don't take too much of it. GJ, what do I mean by releasing? They're coming out, they're launching. It's a lot of futures prop firms that are supposed to be launching in the next couple of weeks. Some of them, I believe, are coming from the Forex space, which is not surprising because with CFDs not being legal in the US, and with so many people, there were so many like Forex people who moved to futures. And with them making posts about it, whether it's YouTube videos, Instagram posts, whatever, and showing their progress in the future space, like Forex prop accounts are expensive. Like FTMO accounts were expensive. I think I paid like $600 for one of mine. And now I can't even trade it because I'm a US customer. But I think that some of the Forex props are trying to get their market share back in the future space. Because they lost so many customers when MT4 was taken away and things like that. But yeah, it's supposed to be quite a few of them launching. One of them that's launching is from a guy who was affiliated with FTT. I don't think he worked out. I know he like helped out in Discord and stuff, but I don't know if he was like an actual employee or anything. But he's supposed to be launching one soon, I think. But I don't know. You won't see me anywhere. I don't trust any of these people. They're all crazy. But yeah, that's it for me, you guys. I'm going to go take my nap so that I can start going through some more of this data. Because honestly, by Monday, I want to have something that I like so I can just like be really good with execution and get this account done so I can start trading my PAs again. I think when I start trading my PAs again, I'm going to start with the 25K account first. It only has like $600 in drawdown left. That's the one that I got back in March of last year. I think I want to start with that one first, see if I can get that one to a payout, and then probably go from there. We'll see. But yeah, I thank you guys for tuning in, and I thank you guys for the good commentary and conversation today. Please like the video on your way out if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. But other than that, I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning at 8:45 Central Standard Time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, guys.